Welcome to Kat's Kitchen. Today we're making one of my all-time favorite dinners, kimchi fried rice. I stumbled across this recipe sometime last year when I had some kimchi and I bought it like a week prior, but when I was eating it, it tasted like acetone, like just super chemically and toxic. And so I Googled like, is this normal? Does kimchi always taste this way? I just was not familiar with kimchi. And Google said that it happens when the kimchi gets really fermented. And a way to still use up the kimchi is in kimchi stew or kimchi fried rice, because you're cooking the kimchi. So I don't know if it burns off some of that fermented flavor or what, but I made the kimchi fried rice and my husband and I loved it, like loved it. So this has become one of our favorite dishes to make, or one of my favorite dishes to make, one of our favorite dishes to eat. And it's honestly really simple to make. You don't need a ton of cooking, skills. It's a lot of chopping and then frying together in a pan. Before we get started, I'm gonna crack open a Sanzo Calamansi sparkling water. I love Sanzo waters. No sugar, no funky flavors, just carbonated water and calamansi puree. I always have to have some kind of a drink when I'm cooking. And then ingredients for the kimchi fried rice. First being kimchi, of course. I bought this ginormous tub from H Mart. It's a Korean grocery store. I don't know how to make kimchi. I don't know anybody in my life who makes kimchi. So I do store-bought version. If you have a better brand, let me know. This one, I usually buy like the smaller tub at H Mart, but they were all out when I went, so I had to opt for the giant, like full kimchi tub. It is really good. I do like it. Again, not a kimchi expert. I didn't grow up with it, but kimchi is just fermented cabbage, like carrots, I think onion, green onion, and then they put some different spices in it. Korean chili flakes. There's like fish sauce, various ingredients. It's not vegan because they have fish sauce in it, but I do know that they sell vegan kimchi if you're interested in that. But it's a fermented food, which is really, really good for a healthy gut, and it's a really yummy taste. It's a very popular Korean type of food, and I really, really, really enjoy it, and it's delicious in this recipe. So you need kimchi, you need a little bit of butter. I have this Kerrygold. This is salted butter. I do salted butter. I like the Kerrygold one. I splurge a little at the grocery store because this is just such good butter. You could also use ghee if you want. And then I have some bacon. I really like this, the Hormel Natural Choice uncured bacon. I also really like the, oh my gosh, the Applegate. There's an Applegate bacon that comes frozen from Walmart. I do like that one too. Butter, bacon, kimchi. You need leftover rice. So I made this rice last night for dinner in my rice cooker. And then I just always make extra so that I can have meals, throughout the week. Or in case I'm making kimchi fried rice, like in this case, you want it to be leftover rice because then it's a little bit drier and it'll soak up a lot of the juices, the oils, etc. when you're making kimchi fried rice. It's not the end of the world if you make rice the day of and then use the kimchi, and then make kimchi fried rice day of. Totally okay. You're not gonna not enjoy the meal. It's just, it is better when the rice is a little bit drier and older because it'll soak up those, it'll soak up those flavors and not become too mushy. But you can still make it with day-made rice. It's just better if you do day old or a couple days old. I also have some garlic, fresh garlic. I have green onion. I have eggs, because we're gonna put a fried egg on top, and then also some sesame oil and sesame seeds, and then avocado oil to cook the eggs in. And then the one other ingredient that I forgot at the grocery store, I'm so upset because it's not essential, but it is good, are mushrooms. Any kind of mushrooms. I usually use like baby bella or just whatever regular mushrooms at the store. I'm not a mushroom guru. I don't know any names of mushrooms, but you can use other mushrooms. I just don't have any, so we're gonna pretend that we have them today. I'm really upset about it, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So, kimchi fried rice, such a fun, delicious, flavorful recipe. Let's get into it. Very first thing I'm gonna do is turn on my little burner, or you would turn on your stove. Very first thing I'm doing, I'm gonna cut the green onion. And I think I'm just gonna go with 3 full green onions. I cut the ends off, just like that root part. And then some of these are just a little dry and wilted, so I am just gonna cut those off. And you're left with these stalks, and what I do is I cut them in half and then just kind of layer them. So then I can cut them into just teeny tiny, what would this be called? I don't know, whatever this is called. Whatever this is called. Note, I'm tucking in my fingers when I cut. You don't want your fingers to be out like this. Tuck in your digits so you don't chop them off. And then get a good grip on your knife so you have lots of control. And just chop the green onion. Chop, 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 chop to the top. All right, and then adding the green onions here because I am gonna cut the bacon on the same little cutting board. And then bacon, for this dish, I'm making about 3 to 4 servings. Usually it just kind of depends on how hungry I am and my husband is. So I'll do about half of this package of bacon, which is like 5 or 6 strips. Any day now. It's not like I'm hungry. Can we just like collectively be in agreement that these are the dumbest things ever to exist? Why? I will just never understand why bacon is like this, you know? And who's like using the whole thing every single time? How are you supposed to store this? I will die on that grave. Die on that grave? Die on that hill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more. 5 to 6 slices of bacon. Yeah, the whole bacon thing literally just grinds my gears. And then I like to stack up all the slices of bacon, and then I'll cut them in strips, small strips. So then they look like this, just strips of bacon, okay? So I'm gonna cut all the way down the line. Again, tucking in those fingers. And cut the bacon. Make sure you're cutting all the way through. Sometimes it's a little hard because you're basically just cutting through fat, but keep those fingers tucked and then cut all the way through the bacon. And try to make sure that these are all, you know, even size. You could also use scissors if you don't want to cut the bacon. All right, and I am gonna add my pan pot thingy to the burner so we can get nice and warm. All right, and then I do like to go through and just cut the strips basically in half. So they're almost like bacon bite-sized pieces. Total rough chop, doesn't have to be fancy or anything. I just go through roughly to cut the strips into halves, even smaller pieces. Just so they cook faster and you get like a perfect bite-sized bite, you know what I mean? The strips can be a little long, so just a total rough chop, nothing fancy, not everything has to be perfect. Rough chop so that they're just cubed up. And then we'll cook this. Is this hot already? We're pretty hot. We're pretty hot. So I'm gonna add in the bacon. Bacon going in to the hot pan. And in case you're wondering how I do store the bacon, I, fold whatever's left and then I put it in a Ziploc bag. And then that is how I store it. And then I just wash the Ziploc bags again when I'm done and then reuse those after. Well, that's how I store bacon. This is how bacon should be, like it should come in a Ziploc already. You open it. Oh, bacon, bacon. So what I want is I want the bacon to be completely brown on all sides. So we're just gonna let that cook and do its thing for about 10-ish minutes, okay? And in the meantime, I am gonna grate some garlic. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small cloves. This is perfect for me. I like that many. Peel them. Now I could use a knife and like smash it, but I don't really want to dirty another knife or another cutting board, you know? So we're just peeling it with our nails, peeling the outer skin off. And I like a good amount of garlic. This is a Korean dish, and Korean dishes often have a good amount of garlic flavor. So yes, there's garlic in the kimchi, but I still like to add some extra garlic to the dish itself. And my husband has never complained, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And these are itty bitty cloves. If you're doing like regular cloves, I'd say 2, max 3. But that's just personal preference. You do however much garlic you want. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Come on, baby. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. By the way, I'm not just like throwing stuff on the floor. I have a trash can over here. I like to grate the garlic, so I have this. Is this a cheese grater? I don't know. And then I just grate the garlic. Nope. Grate the garlic over the top into just a little bowl. And I'll grate it just until I have the little nub on the end, and then grate the next one. Come on, baby. I don't even know what song I'm singing. Garlic clove number 3. Be very careful with this so you don't get your fingers. You don't want to grate your finger skin off. When you get close to the grater, just stop. Just stop. You're supposed to like cut the ends off the garlic anyway, so you'll need to scrape your fingers trying to get the very last bit of the garlic clove. Oh, whoa, whoa. You see it breakdance? Yeah, bacon's looking good. All right, here is the garlic. Gently scrape it all into the bowl. Gently, gently. This looks like the perfect amount that I want. Garlic in a bowl. 5 small cloves, 2 to 3 normal size large ones. While the bacon is still cooking, because it's still not brown on all sides. All right, garlic setting aside. And the next step is to cut the kimchi into smaller bite-sized pieces. So you don't, potent. If you're not used to kimchi, I'm not gonna lie to you, it does not smell all that pleasant. Definitely smells like cabbage. So definitely smells like cabbage. And what I do, because this big tub was whole kimchi pieces. What was it called? What did it say? Whole Napa cabbage kimchi. So they come in like massive pieces. So I need to very much cut these off, cut these smaller, okay? So I just take some scissors. You could also use a knife and a cutting board, but I didn't want to stain my cutting board, any of my cutting boards. And then I just cut like a piece of paper. I just cut the kimchi into smaller bite-sized pieces into a bowl. That way when I'm eating the kimchi, I'm not getting too massive of slices. They're small bite-sized, almost the same size as the bacon pieces, like the bacon strips that we cut. You want them to be pretty cohesive, okay? So just cutting the kimchi. Again, it does not have to be perfect. I will say that there are other kimchis that you can buy that you don't have to do this step. Some, some kimchis just are obviously not the whole cabbage, they're just pieces. And then you completely omit this step of cutting into smaller bite-sized pieces because they're already bite-sized and itty-bitty. But for the sake of this whole cabbage, we gotta cut it up. And I personally am more of a leafy green kind of gal with the kimchi. Like I prefer the more leafy part, not the white of the kimchi. So I like to also incorporate as much of that as I can. My husband likes the white part more. I also don't have any gloves or else I would use a glove to hold onto the kimchi, you know, and then cut it with my other hand, but I don't have a glove. Come on, this is the one that I want. You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, 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 honey, the one that I want. All right. That's a good amount of kimchi for me. Bacon is looking pretty good. We have some really nice bacon bits on the pan. It's gonna be delicious once we get some of that off the pan. Once bacon looks like this, almost everything is cooked and brown. This is what we want. Next step is adding in the garlic and the butter. And if I had mushrooms, this is where I would add the mushrooms. Let the butter melt just a little bit. I wish you can smell this. It smells heavenly. And then, of course, you'd add the mushrooms, and once the mushrooms are just a little bit softened, then you go ahead and add the kimchi in. But since all I have is kimchi, no mushrooms, I'm just gonna add the kimchi in now. And then cook this down a little bit. Notice some of the bacon bit pieces are coming off with that kimchi juice. That is definitely what we want. So much flavor in those bits on the bottom of the pan. And we'll just let this cook for about 5 minutes to let those flavors infuse quite a bit before adding in the rice. All right, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes or so. So next step is to add in the rice. Again, this is leftover rice that I cooked yesterday for dinner, and I'm gonna add this whole thing in here. Oh, oh my gosh. Cool, 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 cool. And then break up the rice. That way you're not getting a big old clump. Break up the rice and then add in some kimchi juice from the kimchi container. This is gonna help add some hydration back into the rice. Yum. While also giving some flavor to the dish, some of that delicious kimchi flavor, and also helping with getting some of those last bits off of the bottom of the pan. And again, breaking this all up. And as a reminder, you ideally want to be using day-old rice or 2-day-old rice, whatever, 3 days, leftover rice. That way it's a little bit drier and can really soak up all these flavors without getting too overly mushy. But in a pinch, you can absolutely use rice that you just cooked or rice out of your rice cooker. Just know that because it'll be moist or more moist, it will be just a little bit more on the mushy side. Still delicious taste, just a little bit more mushy. And right now I'm just mixing all of this and breaking up as much as I can to let the rice really soak up all the flavors. And then just let this cook for another 5 minutes or so, letting it fry in the pan. It's been about 5 minutes and this is what we're looking like now. It looks absolutely delicious. The rice is nice and warm, nice and flavorful. So I'm actually gonna take this off the heat and then add my pan so we can fry our eggs. Adding a little bit of avocado oil. We're almost done with the recipe. I'm just gonna add some green onion into the pot, a good amount, or the pan. And then mix that together. Looks so good. Oil looks hot. I'm gonna crack some eggs in there. These are gonna splash everywhere, I know it. Oh, they didn't. Okay, cracking your eggs. I'm doing 3. Woohoo! I like 1, Gabriel likes 2. I knew they was gonna make a mess. Cool. And while the eggs are frying, I'm just gonna start serving up the kimchi fried rice into bowls for my husband and myself for dinner. This is like a 30-minute meal. Super quick, so flavorful. I mean, literally. Look at how beautiful that is. Here's 1 and 2. And this will usually be like 3 to 4-ish servings. This is about how much I would want. And then this is what's left. Yeah, about 3 to 4-ish servings. You can totally add more rice if you want more servings, or you can add more kimchi. You can even do double the bacon. And then, of course, if you had the mushrooms in there, the mushrooms do add a little bit more bulk to the dish as well. And then I don't flip the eggs because I do like a runnier yolk. I usually cover the eggs with a lid, but I can't find my lid anywhere. I don't know what the heck I did to it. I really want that lid. I found it. So I'm gonna just put that over the top of the eggs, and that lets the eggs steam a little bit so that the yolk starts to cook a little bit more and a little bit quicker because I'm hungry. But then that way you're not flipping the egg over and risking smushing the egg yolk. I just kind of let them steam with a lid. Obviously you can use a pot with a lid that fits. I don't have one. But you let the eggs steam a little bit and then add it to the top of the rice. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. Like so excited. I'm gonna taste the rice. You just have to make sure it's good, you know? Oh my gosh, so yum. Delicious. I'm definitely missing the mushrooms, but still good. So much flavor. Bacon, butter, green onion. A little saltiness from the bacon without it being too salty. Kimchi is just delicious. So good. All right, I think we're good. Oh, I'm making a mess too with the steam. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Ow. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna set you here for a sec. Be nice. Be nice. Oh dear. Your girl was always making a mess, in case that wasn't clear. In case that wasn't clear, I make a mess every moment of every day. Okay. All right. Almost done. Next is adding just a little bit of sesame oil. I know some people like a lot more than this. I just like a little bitty taste. I do feel like sesame oil can taste overpowering, and then that's like all you're tasting. I don't like that. So I only add a little bit. This is the egg situation. Oh my gosh. Can you be nice? I'm gonna cut one or separate one for myself. And see the jiggly, we still got a little jiggly egg. This one's mine. This one is husband's. Ta-da. You can do 2 eggs. You can do more than that. You do you. All right. Eggies are on top. And then I like to top with a little bit more green onion. Just like that. Just like that. Some for the husband. Yum. Looks so good. I love this meal. The AC just came on. You little son of a gun. Little son of a gun. Oh my gosh, I just tripped myself. Okay. All right, and sesame seeds on top of that. Just a nice generous sprinkle. You can also use black sesame seeds if you want. Yum. And then the last ingredient, which is completely optional, I do like sriracha. This is, I believe this one's from H Mart, but the one we really like is from Sprouts. It's the Sprouts chili sauce, I think. But I have this one, and I'm just gonna drizzle that on top. I don't know if my husband wants that on his, but here is the final kimchi fried rice dinner in about 30 minutes. It would take 30 minutes if I wasn't just yapping. So stunning and so delicious. I kind of want to take a photo of this. Sweets, can you come take a photo of me, please, with the rice? Sweet husband. The camera is right there. All right, so there you have it. 30-minute kimchi fried rice. Let's give it a taste. I love the jiggly egg. I'm gonna break the yolk so it's nice and ooey gooey all over the rice. Oh my gosh, so excited, so excited. I'm actually salivating. Wowee. Taste test. Oh my word. This is so fire. Every time I eat this meal, the egg really just elevates it a little bit. Same with the sesame oil and the sriracha, a little sweet chili flavor. Heaven, just straight heaven. This is one of my all-time favorite meals. I'm obviously hungry, so I'm gonna go eat this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope maybe it encourages you to try something new in the kitchen. Kimchi was a food that I had never tried before, but just came across it one day, fell in love with it, and fell in love with a new dish with different flavors that I just had never had before in my entire life. And they've become one of my favorite things ever. So I highly encourage you to get creative in the kitchen, not be afraid to try new recipes because you never know what you're gonna fall in love with. I have like sesame seeds all up in my teeth right now and rice. But thank you so much for watching. Comment below if you do try this recipe. Don't forget to buy mushrooms. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Got a blast. Let's eat sweets. It's delicious today.